Hello people, welcome to Gurukula. I am Jai. So in this video we are going to take up the question, the difference between MAC address, IP address and then the port address. There is no wonder that a node that is connected on the internet will have three addresses. Yes, the first one is IP address, the second one is MAC address and the third one is port address. So this video will help you to clarify why do we use three addresses for one single node that is connected on the internet. So IP addresses, this address is what logically assigned to a particular node, which is used to identify the network on which that particular host is connected, and it is especially used by the routers. Routers will understand only the IP address, and then the routers operates on layer 3 of the OSI model, and then it is used by the network layer, that is the third layer of the OSI model. And then once the network is identified by the router will deviate or it will redirect the packet to that particular interface. And now when we enter into the network, then it comes to the layer 2 where IP addresses is no more sensible for the switches, because layer 2 we will be having switches operated over there. So there we have another address, that is what we call it as the MAC addresses. So these MAC addresses are physically assigned, which means it will be hardwired and then it will be embossed on the network interface card, which is abbreviated as NIC. So this is used to identify the host in that particular network by the switches. The switches will only understand the MAC addresses, and IP addresses will make no sense as far as the switch is concerned. Your switch operates on the data link layer, and once after identifying the exact machine by using the MAC addresses, you will have one particular machine will run different processes in it. So in order to identify the exact process to which my packet has to be delivered, I need another identifier, and that is what we call it as a port address. Your port address actually identifies the process which is running at the host. This particular address will be used by the transport layer. As you can see in the figure, you will have IP address and then the MAC address assigned to one particular host. Your IP address will use to identify the network. Once the network is identified, in order to identify the host, you will have the MAC address, and once the host is identified using MAC address, you need to identify the process running inside the machine, and port address is the identifier which helps you to identify the correct process to which the packet has to be delivered. So in short, IP addresses are logically assigned. It will be used by the routers at network layer, and then next comes to the MAC address, which is physically assigned, which is used by the switches at data link layer, and coming to the port address, it is used to identify the process used by the transport layer. So now I think you will be very clear with why do we have three addresses for one single node that is connected on internet. We have IP address, MAC address and then the port address, and we now very well know which network and which layer and which devices uses what addresses. So that's for this particular video. I'm going to see you in the next video. Until then, it's bye from Jai and happy learning.